Hi everyone, my name is Ruby Kean and I've put together this little workshop for making collage cards, which I think in this crazy time that we're all in is a really nice thing to do, whether you want to make a cute card for someone you're isolating with, or post something lovely to a neighbour, or send something to someone you're really missing during isolation. So I've been making these collage packs, these little collage parcels that you can buy from partnership editions, which include all kinds of little bits, but also everything that I'm going to show you in this workshop. You don't need the collage parcel. If you're like me and you hoard paper treasures and wrapping paper and other paper ephemera, this is a perfect way to kind of bring all those things together, just to make something really sweet and while away half an hour of your day. So I hope you enjoy. So collage for me is very instinctful. It's all about stitching ideas together. I love it because you can make mistakes seem really intentional. If you make a mistake, you can just stick something right over it and it's gone. And yeah, it's all just about building ideas and bringing together things that you love, basically. So one of the things I always do is I like to create texture. And so I thought we'd start by a few little ways of creating texture. So a great way to make texture is by weaving, and what a better way to do that than with the classic checkerboard weave, which I'm obsessed with. It's so simple and easy, and I love anything checkerboard. We all know it well. It's the kind of simple steps of weaving strips of paper under and over one another, and yeah, it's a really nice way just to create a simple background texture for your collage. So now you have your textural checkerboard background. You can stick it down onto your card. I'm going to use it as a background for this kind of corrugated scalloped frame that I've made, just from some corrugated card that I painted. So I'll need to cut that out. So now I have cut it out, I'm just going to stick it to the front of my card, but quite nice to add maybe some more texture. So I've just got here something I cut out of a magazine, and because I've made this frame, I thought that would be this kind of picture gallery background would be kind of cute to then stick that onto. Maybe there. Layering also key. Where's it gonna go? Yeah, so I'll kind of just stick that there. And then in the middle, you can put like a really cute picture of whoever you're sending it to, maybe, or a picture of the two of you. I'm just gonna stick a little ballerina. Yeah, a little ballerina in the middle there. And yeah, that's just some really, really nice texture and layering that you can do on the cards. So when I'm not using the checkerboard weave, another fun one for creating texture as like a background is this kind of diamond shaped weave. So to create this little weave, it's also super simple. You just need a piece of paper that has a colour on either side, but if you don't have that, you can just stick 2 pieces of paper together and then make these triangle cuts in the paper that are about 1 centimetre apart. And then you kind of just have to alternately bring your cuts up and over and then tuck them underneath the one before it. So it's kind of just a weaving situation. And then after you finish that, you can get another piece of paper, like a pink or a third colour to stick behind it so you can really kind of see that weaving effect. I think the key thing with collage is not to be super strict with colour or the textures you use, and to be really playful and just kind of bring a bit of joy to it. And then finally, for a texture, the classic tassel, which again is just such a nice background to have on one of your cards or collages. For the tassel bit, again, super simple. You just want to create little strips of paper that you then cut these tassels onto. Start at the bottom and layer it up basically, and you can use different colors. I'm just sticking the same color onto the same color background just to make it simple. I kind of just want to have one color here, and then you can kind of lift them a little bit so it's more defined. I think the key to collage always is just to be really playful, and I think creating these sorts of textures is a really easy and fun way to do that. There we go. After creating some texture, I wanted to show you how to make these really cute, one I made earlier, spring bouquets, which, you know, if you can't send someone some flowers, at least you can send them a little homemade spring bouquet, and they're just really effective and so easy to make. So to make these little bouquet cards, start off with your card. I'm going to use a slightly bigger one this time, and then I'm going to use the tassel texture that I made earlier for the background. And you just need a piece of fabric, a tiny little scrap, 3 inches by 3 inches squared will do the trick, but you can go larger if you want, but make sure it's a square. And then just a little foldy situation to kind of create this bouquet-like shape. It really doesn't have to be anything neat or special, just enough so you can tuck some leaves, flowers or foliage in. This is just from a floral, like, you know, garden magazine. So, or you can make your own flowers, but just make sure that the opening of the fabric is enough to slip in whatever you're using for your flowers. So once you have the floral arrangement you want in place, I would then just stick together the front of the fabric piece with some double-sided tape, or some Pritt stick would work, and then to kind of secure your flowers as well into the bouquet with some glue as well. And then use a really pretty string. You could use just some lovely plain twine to then wrap around your bouquet. It's just a really nice little detail. I've included some lovely ribbon and string in the collage packs that I've made. So if you have got one of those, you'll find a couple of options in there. And then I'm just going to secure it with a bit of tape. If it's double-sided tape, so much the better, because then you can use it to stick it down onto your card. And then at the front, I'll probably just use a little bit of glue here. What I did on this card is I made this little crisscross thing, which is just a fun little detail. It's almost gives the illusion it's securing the ribbon onto the bouquet itself, which it's not. The ribbon's just glued, but it's just a fun little detail. And then you can kind of have a play with layering again. Once you have secured your ribbon with tape or glue or whatever it is that you've used, you can then start to play with placement. And it's just, I think, as I was saying, something that's playful and instinctful. And I've just included this cute little French floral label that I had in my collection. And I've included lots of things like this in the Collage parcels that are available via partnership editions. So yeah, it's just about kind of building something that you think is really pretty, and there you have your 3D bouquet. And there is the finished card. Lots of layering, lots of texture. In the end, I did use the little crisscross technique, just Pritt sticked on for an extra pop of colour. So yeah, there's the little bouquet. And now you have all your stunning cards to send to people. If you don't have an envelope, or your card is kind of gone beyond the confines of the card itself and the envelope you do have is too small, I wanted to show you how to make a little envelope. A very simple rudimentary envelope, but actually it's all about the decoration and the fun that you put into the envelope itself. So if your card has a design that's gone beyond the parameters of the card itself so that it no longer fits in the envelope, or because you don't have an envelope, I thought it would be fun to show you how to make one. But actually I love making my own envelopes because you can get really creative with them. You can make them with tracing paper so they're kind of see-through, a lovely wrapping paper, or just a plain paper like this and then really decorate it. So I don't get too technical making an envelope. I think as long as it's kind of secure enough to get through the post and it has a clear address on it, it can just be a bit of fun. So what I've done for this one is I've got a large piece of paper which I have folded in half, and I'm then going to make several cuts. The first is I'm going to cut one side of the fold so that it comes down by about 2 inches, and then I'm going to make 2 cuts of about 1 inch or so at the ends of each of the fold, so that we can then start to actually create the envelope itself. So once you've made the cuts that you need to make, you then need to start making folds. So the first folds will be the front of the envelope. Just fold the depth of the cut that you made inwards on both sides, and the same with the back, sticking these parts down and then sticking these parts together. So once it's all stuck down, you'll then have your little opening, and it's just about making that final fold, which will be the actual opening of your envelope. Now, there are loads of ways to make far nicer, far neater envelopes than this, but I really like that rough and ready look, and it's actually all about the decorating. So now that you have your physical envelope, the front where the address goes is where you can have all the fun, and this is the bit that I think is the most worthwhile. I have made a cute little thing for the address, which I'm just going to stick on here. Make sure that's really tightly stuck if you are going to be putting it in the post, because you don't want to lose the address. I just used some pinking shears and a piece of card, and then again that same little detail I used on the bouquet with the corrugated bits of card. And then I made a cute little thing for the stamp to go on. If, like me, your card isn't going in the post and it's just going to be given to somebody you're isolating with or someone that lives around the corner, you can stick a cute little old postage stamp on there as like a really lovely detail, which I think is so nice. And then you can put your address in here, or if you are going to just be giving it to somebody, a really lovely thing to do is just a sort of faux ribbon with their name on it. And then inside your very janky makeshift envelope goes your card. I mean, I'm probably just going to stick that down with some tape and voila. So cheesy. I hope you enjoyed my card collage workshop. I hope it keeps you creative in isolation. If you want one of my collage parcels, they are available on partnership editions. But otherwise, I think that all of these tips and tricks are easy to do with things that you have lying around at home. So enjoy.